single woman, dancing alone in the streets. But what followed was far beyond the comprehension of the people living through it. What became known as the dancing plague would involve hundreds, all dancing uncontrollably, unable to stop despite the toll it took on their bodies and minds. For weeks, they moved, as if possessed by an invisible force, and no one could understand why. Was it mass hysteria, a hallucinogenic toxin, or something even more sinister at play? This is the strange and unsettling tale of an event that has puzzled historians, scientists, and the curious alike for centuries.
In the summer of 1518, a strange and perplexing event gripped the small town of Strasburg, which was then part of the Holy Roman Empire. This bizarre occurrence, later known as the Dancing Plague of 1518, left historians, scientists, and the public puzzled for centuries. A mysterious phenomenon took hold of the town, one that would leave a mark on history and continue to fascinate people today. It all began one fateful day in July, when a woman named Frau Trophia stepped into the streets of Strasburg, overcome by an uncontrollable urge to dance. She twisted and turned in the middle of the street, her feet moving to a rhythm only she could hear. What started as a lone dancer soon spread, as though some invisible force had gripped her. Within days, more than 30 people joined her, each unable to stop moving. As the days passed, the number of dancers grew, and soon, hundreds were caught in the same trance, each dancing feverishly without pause. The dancing went on for days, and the situation grew more desperate with each passing hour. Some danced for hours, others for days, unable to stop. As exhaustion took its toll, people began to collapse from sheer fatigue. Some even died from strokes, heart attacks, or the relentless toll on their bodies. The town's leaders were at a loss for how to handle the situation. Medical theories ranged from mass hysteria to the possibility of ergot poisoning, a condition caused by a hallucinogenic mold that grows on damp rye, which might have played a role in the outbreak. Was the dancing plague a psychological condition, or was it something more? Historians and scholars continue to debate the true cause. Some argue it was mass hysteria, a result of collective panic and extreme stress brought on by the hardships the people of Strasbourg were facing, including famine and disease. Others believe it could have been a psychological reaction, a way for the people to cope with their overwhelming situation. There are still those who believe the answer lies in a toxin, like ergot poisoning, that triggered the uncontrollable behavior. After weeks of dancing, the authorities took drastic action. A band of musicians was brought in, and somehow their music calmed the dancers, bringing the bizarre outbreak to a halt. But the true cause of the dancing plague. The mystery of the dancing plague continues to captivate those with an interest in history's oddities. It has sparked countless theories over the years, each one attempting to provide an explanation for what could have driven hundreds of people to dance uncontrollably for days. Some modern scholars have suggested that the event might have been a form of mass psychogenic illness, essentially, a mass psychological disorder that spreads among a group of people under extreme stress. The intense pressure of life in the 16th century, combined with ongoing hardships like poverty, disease, and famine, could have caused people to experience an overwhelming psychological breakdown. Others, however, believe the answer lies in the natural world. One of the most widely accepted theories is ergot poisoning, which occurs when people consume rye bread contaminated with a type of fungus called Claviceps purpurea. This fungus produces a substance similar to LSD, which can cause hallucinations, seizures, and spasms. If the people of Strasburg had eaten this tainted bread, it might explain their erratic behavior. However, the fact that the symptoms persisted for days without the typical signs of poisoning raises questions about whether ergot could have been the sole cause. There are also some who argue that the event was not a random occurrence at all, but a manifestation of religious or spiritual possession. During the 16th century, Europe was a place where superstition and the supernatural played a large role in everyday life. It's possible that the dancers believed they were under the influence of a powerful spirit, or perhaps they were trying to appease a deity through their frenzied movement. Some have even suggested that the dancing plague was an attempt to attract divine intervention to end the suffering caused by the hardships they were enduring. What we can agree on, however, is that this event was more than just an isolated case of strange behavior. It reflects the fragility of the human mind, especially under stress, and shows just how easily mass hysteria can take hold of a community. The dancing plague is a stark reminder of how psychological and physical factors can intersect in unexpected and bewildering ways, leading to outcomes that defy logical explanation. While the dancing plague of 1518 may have ended with the arrival of the musicians, its legacy continues to resonate with those who study history's mysteries. It leaves behind questions that remain unanswered to this day. Was it a mass psychosis, a fungal infection, or something else entirely? No matter the cause, the event stands as a testament to the strange and often inexplicable forces that can shape the lives of entire communities. And so, the tale of the dancing plague remains one of the most baffling and enduring stories from history. As we continue to search for answers, we are reminded that there are still many mysteries out there that we may never fully understand. But isn't that part of the allure? The unknown, the unexplained. It beckons us to keep searching, to keep questioning, and to keep exploring the curious and strange events that have shaped our world. If you've enjoyed this story and would like to hear more about the strange and mysterious events from history, be sure to like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating tales that will make you question everything you thought you knew. And as always, stay curious and keep exploring the mysteries of our world. Until next time. The strange and haunting tale of the dancing plague of 1518 didn't simply end with the cessation of the dancers' movements. Though the physical manifestation of the plague was over, its impact rippled through the community, leaving an indelible mark on the town of Strasburg and beyond. As the days wore on and the last of the dancers collapsed from exhaustion, the people of the town were left in a state of confusion and fear. How could something like this have happened? Why had it spread so quickly? And perhaps most importantly, could it happen again? The authorities, desperate to understand the cause of the outbreak, sought answers in a variety of ways. The town's leaders were clearly concerned that the event had some kind of divine or supernatural origin. During the 16th century, it wasn't uncommon for unusual events to be interpreted as signs of divine wrath or, conversely, divine intervention. The fact that the dancing stopped after the intervention of musicians, who played songs to calm the dancers, led many to believe that some higher force had been at work. But as much as the authorities tried to find a religious explanation, the scientific community has continually sought a more grounded understanding. For centuries, historians and doctors alike have debated the cause of the dancing plague, with theories ranging from toxicological explanations to psychological disorders. One of the most persistent theories is ergotism, or ergot poisoning. Some scientists believe that the dancers may have ingested contaminated bread made from rye infected with claviceps purpurea, a fungus that produces a potent hallucinogen. This could explain the hallucinatory symptoms and uncontrollable behavior displayed by the afflicted. However, there is a notable lack of consistent physical evidence to confirm that the entire town was consuming tainted rye. Some experts suggest that ergotism could have played a role, but it likely wasn't the sole cause. In the absence of a concrete scientific explanation, the idea of mass hysteria has become a popular theory. Mass hysteria, or collective psychogenic illness, occurs when a group of people, under stress or pressure, all exhibit the same symptoms of mental or physical distress. In Strasburg, the stress caused by famine, disease, and the uncertainty of the times may have created the perfect storm for mass hysteria to take hold. Some psychologists argue that the people of Strasburg were so overwhelmed by the trauma of their circumstances that they unknowingly began to exhibit symptoms of a psychological breakdown, resulting in an uncontrollable urge to dance. This theory, however, still leaves many questions unanswered. Why did the phenomenon spread so quickly? Why did it take such a specific and dramatic form, with hundreds of people dancing for hours or days? The complexity of human behavior suggests that there may be multiple factors at play. Interestingly, another theory connects the dancing plague to religious rituals. During the medieval period, dancing was sometimes used as a form of spiritual expression or a way to connect with higher powers. There were known instances of religious cults and groups who believed that dancing could cleanse the body and soul or help them commune with spirits. Some have speculated that the dancing plague of 1518 may have been an extreme, collective form of religious fervor, where the people of Strasburg believed they were participating in a sacred ritual that would help them avoid divine punishment. The idea of possession or spiritual influence was deeply ingrained in the beliefs of the time, and it's possible that the dancers thought they were being overtaken by some supernatural force. However, while the debate rages on, one thing is clear: the dancing plague of 1518 has fascinated and perplexed us for centuries, and it continues to spark curiosity and intrigue. Today, the event is often used as a lens through which to examine the boundaries between the mind and body, the psychological and the physical. It challenges our understanding of mass behavior and the limits of human resilience in times of crisis. Even in our modern world, where we often look to science to provide answers, the story of the dancing plague remains a reminder that there are still mysteries that defy explanation. In the years following the event, Strasburg returned to some semblance of normality, but the memory of the dancing plague persisted. The event would forever be etched into the history books as one of the most bizarre and inexplicable occurrences of the medieval period. Over the centuries, historians and scholars have continued to look back on the event with fascination, and new theories continue to emerge, each one attempting to unlock the mystery of what really happened. The question remains: could something like this happen again? Could a similar phenomenon take place in today's world, where the pressures of modern life, stress, and psychological triggers could combine in such a powerful and uncontrollable way? As we look to the future, we can only speculate. But one thing is certain: the dancing plague of 1518 serves as a chilling reminder of how little we truly understand about the complexities of the human mind and the mysterious ways it can respond to external pressures. So, what do you think? Was it a psychogenic outbreak? A hallucinogenic poisoning? Or something more supernatural? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most bizarre events, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing stories. There's no shortage of mysteries to explore, and I'll be here to guide you through them. Until next time, stay curious.
The dancing plague of 1518 may have faded from the streets of Strasburg, but its impact rippled outwards, influencing not just the town, but the wider world in ways that still echo today. The event sparked curiosity and fear across Europe, as people wondered whether such an outbreak could occur in other places. The fact that it was so sudden and inexplicable made it seem almost supernatural. Many interpreted the event as a warning from the heavens, a sign of divine retribution or some cosmic force at work. But as time passed, it became clear that the event wasn't a one-time anomaly, but a chapter in the much larger story of human vulnerability to strange and often unexplainable events. The phenomenon of mass hysteria, which is now studied by psychologists and sociologists, has long been a part of the human experience. The dancing plague is one of the most notable examples in history, but it's not the only instance of such behavior. In the centuries following the Strasburg outbreak, there have been similar episodes where groups of people, under extreme stress, exhibit inexplicable symptoms. For example, in 1841, a case of dancing mania occurred in a German town, and in more recent times, we've seen instances of mass fainting, uncontrollable laughter, and even a rash of outbreaks of bizarre behavior among students and workers. These events remind us that the mind has an immense power to influence the body, especially in high-pressure situations. Today, in our hyper-connected world, stories of mass hysteria still make headlines. From viral internet challenges to collective emotional responses in the wake of tragic events, we are more connected than ever before, which means that collective psychological phenomena can spread even faster. Social media has proven to be a powerful tool, but it has also amplified the potential for mass hysteria to take root, whether through memes, viral trends, or the spread of fear during a crisis. But the modern world is not without its own complexities, and many have drawn parallels between the events of 1518 and today's psychological afflictions. Mental health issues, like anxiety, stress, and depression, are at an all-time high, and society's growing obsession with social comparison and unrealistic expectations has compounded these issues. In many ways, the pressures felt by the people of Strasburg in the 16th century can still be seen today, people coping with personal trauma, societal expectations, and political or economic instability. What if, in our modern age, the same sort of mass psychological event could occur, fueled by the stresses of contemporary life, compounded by the influence of technology and social media? The question lingers in the back of our minds. Could something like the dancing plague happen today? With the rapid pace of modern life and the ever-growing presence of social media in our daily routines, it seems increasingly possible. Could the next viral sensation lead to another uncontrollable outbreak of strange behavior? Or perhaps, the mind's ability to create such extraordinary responses to stress and collective anxiety is even more pronounced in today's world, where global issues, like the climate crisis or political polarization, can heighten our sense of powerlessness and fear. At its core, the dancing plague of 1518 speaks to the fragility of the human mind when pushed to its limits. It challenges our understanding of how external pressures, whether they be famine, disease, or social unrest, can push people into states of extreme, collective behavior. What happened in Strasbourg that summer, and what continues to happen in small pockets across the world, may be more connected than we think. In the years since, scholars have attempted to piece together the causes and effects of the dancing plague, and each attempt only raises more questions. Theories continue to evolve, and each one shines a light on a different aspect of human experience. Whether through the lens of psychology, history, religion, or even toxicology, the dancing plague serves as a mirror into the depths of the human psyche and the powerful forces that can alter our behavior in ways we may never fully understand. As we reflect on the mystery of the dancing plague, we are reminded that there is much more to our human nature than what meets the eye. Our minds are delicate, shaped by both our environments and our internal states, and they can be easily swayed by the invisible forces of collective experience. In our fast-paced world, where the pressure to perform and conform is more intense than ever, the story of the dancing plague offers a cautionary tale about the vulnerability of the human spirit and the strength it takes to resist the pull of hysteria. The legacy of the dancing plague of 1518 is more than just an eerie historical event. It's a reminder of the complex interplay between mind, body, and society. Whether through psychological breakdowns, mass hysteria, or the overwhelming influence of social and environmental pressures, the story of Strasburg's dance epidemic continues to fascinate and serve as a warning about the fragility of our collective consciousness. So, what do you think? Is there a modern-day equivalent of the dancing plague waiting to unfold? Could we see another mass psychological event in our future? Or is the cause of the 1518 outbreak something that remains beyond our comprehension? Join the conversation in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts on this centuries-old mystery.